Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel to get your daily Bible verse and Bible chapter. I hope you have a great day and come back each and every day for a new verse and a new chapter. Thank you and God bless. 2 Samuel 19. David's grief over Absalom. Joab was told David was weeping and lamenting over Absalom. The day's victory turned into a day of mourning as word passed through the army. David was grieving over his son. The army straggled back to the city that day, demoralizing, dragging the tails, and the king held his face in his hand and lamented loudly. "Oh, my son Absalom, Absalom, my dear son." But in private, Joab rebuked the king. "Now you've done it. Knock the wind out of your loyal servants who have just saved your life, to say nothing of their lives, of your sons and daughters, wives and concubines. What is this? Loving those who hate you and hating those who love you? Your actions give a clear message. Officers and soldiers mean nothing to you. You know that if Absalom was alive right now, we'd all be dead. Would that make you happy? Get a hold of yourself. Get out there and put heart into your servants. I swear to God, if you don't go to them, they'll desert. Not a soldier will be left here by nightfall. And then that will be the worst thing that has happened yet." So the king came out and took his place at the city gate. Soon everyone knew, "Oh, look, the king has come out to receive us." And his whole army came and presented itself to the king. But the Israelites had fled the field of battle, and had gone home. Meanwhile, the whole populace was now complaining to its leaders. "Wasn't the king who saved us time and again from our enemies and rescued us from the Philistines? And now he had to flee the country on account of Absalom. And now Absalom, whom we made the king, is dead in battle. So what are you waiting for? Why don't you bring the king back?" When David heard what was being said, he sent word to Zadok and Ab, the priest, asked the elders of Judah, "Why are you so laggard in bringing the king back home? You're my brothers. You're my own flesh and blood. So why are you the last ones to bring the king back home?" And tell Amasa, "You too are my flesh and blood, as God is my witness. I am making you my permanent commander of the army in place of Joab." He captured the hearts of everyone in Judah. They were unanimously and sending for the king, "Come back, you and all your servants." So the king returned. He arrived at the Jordan just as Judah reached Gilgal, on their way to welcome the king and escort him across the Jordan. Even Shimei, son of Gera, the Benjaminite from Baham, hurried down to join the men of Judah so he could welcome the king. 1,000 Benjaminites with him, and Ziba, Saul's steward, and his 15 sons and 20 servants wade across the Jordan to meet the king, and brought his courage across, doing whatever they could to make the king comfortable. Shimei, son of Gera, bowed deeply in homage to the king as soon as he was across the Jordan, and said, "Don't think badly of me, my master. Overlook my irresponsible outburst on the day of my master king left Jerusalem. Don't hold it against me. I know I sinned, but I look at me now, the first of all the tribe of Joseph, to come down and welcome back my master the king." Ab, son of Zeruiah, interrupted, "Enough of this. Shouldn't we kill him outright? Why, he cursed God's anointed." But David said, "What is with you, son of Zeruiah? Why do you insist on being so conscientious? Nobody's going to be killed today. I am a king, again king over Israel." Then the king turned to Shimei, "You're not going to die." And the king gave him his word. Next, Mep, grandson of Saul, arrived from Jerusalem. To welcome the king. He had not combined combed his hair, or trimmed his beard, or washed his clothes, from the day the king left until the day he returned safe and sound. The king said, "And why didn't you come with me, Mep?" "My master the king said, my servant betrayed me. I told him to saddle my donkey so I could ride and go with the king. For as you know, I am lame, and he lied to you about me. But my master, the king, has been like one of God's angels. He knew what was right and did it. Wasn't everyone in my father's house doomed? But you took me in and gave me a place at your table. What more could I ever expect or ask? That's enough, said the king. Say no more. Here's my decision. You and Ziba divide the property between you. And Mep said, Oh, let him have it all. All I care about is that my master, the king, is home safe and sound. Barzillai, the Gileadite, had come down from Rogan. He crossed the Jordan with the king and gave him a good send-off. Barzillai was a very old man, 80 years old. He had supplied the king's needs all the while he was in Mahima, since he was very wealthy. Join me in Jerusalem, the king said to Barzillai. Let me take care of you. But Barzillai declined the offer. How long do you think I'd live if I went with the king of Jerusalem? I am 80 years old and not much good anymore to anyone. Can't taste food, can't hear music. So why add to the burdens of my master, the king? I'll just go a little way across the Jordan with my king. But why would the king need you to make a great thing of that? Let me go back and die, my hometown, and be buried with my father and mother. But my servant Kimham here, let him go with you in my place, but treat him well. The king said, That's settled. Kimham goes with me, and I will treat him well. If you think of anything else, I'll do that for you too. The army crossed the Jordan, but the king stayed. The king kissed and blessed Barzillai, who then returned home. Then the king, Kimham, with him, crossed over at Gilgal. The whole army of Judah and half the army of Israel proceeded with the king. The men of Israel came to the kings and said, Why is our brother, the men of Judah, taken over as if they owned the king? according to the king and his family and close associates across the Jordan. The men of Judah retorted, because the king is related to us, that's why. But why make a scene? You don't see us getting treated special because of it, do you? The men of Israel shot back, we have 10 shares in the king to your 1, because besides we're the firstborn, so why are we having to play second fiddle? It was our idea to bring him back. But the men of Judah took a harder line than the men of Israel. Galatians 5:25. Since the kind of life we have chosen, the life of the Spirit, let us make sure that we do not just hold it as an idea in our heads or a settlement in our hearts, but work out its implications in every detail of our lives. That means we will not compare ourselves with each other as if one of us were better and another worse. We have far more interesting things to do in our life. Each of us is an original. One of my favorite verses is Philippians 4:13, and it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. If you have your own favorite verse, please let me know what it is below. Thank you and God bless. Thank you for watching today's video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe so you can remember to watch each and every day's video. Thank you for the ones that have been with me from the beginning. Please help me expand my ministry. Thank you and God bless.